But then all this talk about COVID passports, now there's talk about having a pub passport. The hospitality industry is taking another hit. I've got a coastal constituency. Hospitality is a big industry. So my problem is this is actually all incremental towards much, much more restrictive regulations. We learnt, surely, in the last 18 months that some of these things were over the top and they were doing more damage to the economy, to people's well-being and to people's health elsewhere than actually COVID itself was. And COVID is not the only thing that's killing people at the moment. So let's put it into perspective. And that's why we want a proper debate, properly scrutinising what these measures are and what may come later on. So
it sounds like you're going to vote with the government on some things, but the COVID pass is the real red line for you.
Masks I don't have a problem with, but COVID passports, particularly mandatory vaccinations, which we think we're having a vote on tomorrow for the NHS staff, I'm against mandatory medical interventions, and vaccination is a medical intervention on principle. But also, pragmatically, we've lost a lot of people from the care industry because it was brought in for care workers as from November. Many of those care workers actually then switched to work in the NHS, so it's going to catch up with them in March. We have 1.5 million people working in the NHS. A lot of those will be affected by this mandatory vaccination, and a lot of them will leave. And we've got a shortage of people in the NHS at the moment. We desperately need more people to come in. So this is going to provide big gaps in care.
Now, I'm trying to put my head in the head of the whips and what they might say to you.
Oh, that's a very dodgy thing to do.
They might say, look, there's a really important by-election on Thursday. They might say, party disunity is really damaging. They might say this is all aimed at avoiding a full lockdown in the new year. Are you biddable? When you get that call, will they call you?
I think they gave up on me a long time ago. But I'm going to go to the debate. I'm hopefully going to participate in the debate, and I will listen to the debate, and I will make my mind up finally at the end. But on the basis of what I think we're going to be faced with at the moment, it's a definite no to passports because of passport creep ending up in mandatory vaccinations. I'm relaxed on masks. But the other problem is, if you remember a year or so ago, there was all this confusion of can you do this, can't you do this? You have to leave a pub at 10 o'clock, and then everybody sort of surged for the door, so spreading COVID supposedly, and then went to queue up outside Tesco's or the off-licence to buy their booze to take home where there's no social distancing. There was no logic. It didn't make sense.